Hey everybody, it's time for the next limited time series, and this time we've got Brabham BT62, so you got 7 days to complete this limited time series to win the car if you don't own it in your garage already, plus 50 gold and some 250,000 racing dollars. Alright, so according to their Fire Monkeys website, the PR requirement to win this car in this limited time series is going to be 86.8. We'll look into that, see if it's actually what they require. But before we get started, so let's go through all the event details, right? So I already told you about the rewards, the car, gold, racing dollars, right? And the time in terms of limited times. The last day when it expires is next Thursday, the July 15th. So we got, as you can see, 7 days to run through this to win this car. And as always, I'm expecting 15 tiers of 3 event per tier series here. So that's 45 event total. So yeah, let's check in and see what we've got. All right, Brabham BT62 Championship. Earn a 2018 Brabham BT62 by 100% completing this special limited time series. The long-awaited return of Brabham is finally over with a 5.4-liter naturally aspirated V8. This incredible machine is crafted for ultimate control and speed. Right, none of those fancy hybrid drivetrain nor turbochargers necessary here. It's straight up V8 raw power at its finest. Right, and this limited time series, by the way, is this is a second opportunity that we're given to win this car, because originally I want to say it was last year when we had a special event called Brabham Royale. So special event format, meaning no set PR requirement. Even though, if I remember correctly, I needed to get 3 upgrades across the board to complete all goals in that event and win that car. I'll have the link to that special event playthrough playlist in the description box below. So if you guys are interested, for posterity's sake, you can check it out. Anyway, here is the breakdown of the currency rewards broken down into 25% completion increment. The first 25% rewards you 5 gold and some 25,000 racing dollars. 50% gets you 10 gold and 50,000 racing dollars. And 75% completion adds another 15 gold and 75,000 racing dollars to that. And 100% completion, of course, rewards you the remaining 20 gold and 100,000 racing dollars. And if you don't own this car already, you'll get to win the car. Right, so, and yes, 15 tiers, so let's use gold to unlock all tiers and check out what we've got here. And your Brabham probably is not going to look like that if you don't own it already in your garage, because that's what a fully upgraded Brabham you can, customize for free, like get different official liveries. That red finish is one of the official ones. Looks pretty sharp, I think. Otherwise, you get that classic British racing green that's featured throughout this splash screen, right? So that's pretty nice too, like that gold and green. That's a nice combination too. Anyway, let's check into the final tier. The last cup is going to be at Spa. Takes 4 laps, and the PR requirement is actually higher than what they have published on their site. It's 86.9, not 86.8. I believe that does change your upgrade tree. because I think if it's 86.8, you can reach that with spending some 770 gold. And your upgrade tree would look like maxing out engine, getting 3 upgrades on drivetrain, maxing out body, and then if it were 86.8, I think you can go with maxing out tires and wheels along with exhaust and brakes instead of suspension. Now, the reason why I say that is suspension upgrade costs, that final gold upgrade on suspension costs you 130 gold, as opposed to tires and wheels that cost you 120 gold. But in terms of PR boost that you get, I believe tires and wheels is 0.1 PR point shy. So if you go with the tires and wheels, it will actually get your PR up to 86.8, not 86.9. And suspension will give you that extra 0.1 PR point that you're going to need. So I don't have a way of verifying this because mine is obviously fully upgraded. And I'm going with sort of the PR point that I looked at, that I saved when I was upgrading this car. And the suspension had a higher PR boost than tires and wheels. So I think that's the way it will work out with that 0.1 PR point higher required in this case than what they have published. So yeah, so the total cost to meet the PR requirement is going to be 780 gold is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to run with that. And then in terms of racing dollar cost, if you need to keep track of it, it will cost you 1,836,700 racing dollars. So that is every racing dollar upgrades available on this car, by the way. So and this car is featured in a single bonus series plus an exclusive series. Bonus series, since it is not a single car bonus series, it does feature a couple of other cars, namely Lamborghini Aventador SVJ and McLaren Senna. So all 3 cars featured in that series. A lot of fun. But the relevance here in this video is the fact that there is a showcase discount for this car in that series, bonus series. So normally the car will cost you 800 gold. So if you win it through this event, obviously it's still cheaper and you're getting the car almost fully maxed out in terms of upgrades. So you're able to go further in the bonus series and, you know, recoup that cost, right? But if you miss out in, this time around, you know, it'll cost you 800 gold normally. Otherwise, you can get the showcase discount, 20% off. Basically, get it for 640 gold, right? And in terms of that bonus series, this car is the top dog. So this is the only car that can actually meet the PR requirement of what is that PR requirement in that series? It's 87.5. So in order to meet that PR requirement, you need every upgrade except for the last drivetrain upgrade. So you're gonna need to max out both suspension and tires and wheels. So yeah, and then 77 gold is the total reward in that bonus series. So if you, but the PR requirement there is 87.5 as I said. So if by 100% completing this bonus series, your PR is not going to be quite high enough to 100% complete that bonus series, but it's obviously good enough to complete 75%, which means there's some, 45 gold that you can pick up in the bonus series upon winning this car in the bonus series the car's featured in. So combined with the reward, the 50 gold reward in this limited time series, that's total of 95 gold that you can recoup. So the net cost of ownership in terms of gold cost is gonna be more like closer to just under 700 gold. So, hey, that's not for nothing, right? And there is no what do you call that, event archive event featuring this car, and that whole section is going away as a format, so we don't know if there will be another opportunity to win this car. And generally, when the events come back for us to win, it usually costs more. So, that's something to keep in mind. But obviously, if you don't win it this time, it's not the end of the world either. I'm sure they'll give us some opportunity to win this car. Of course, they do occasionally have those, racer's choice, where you get 40% off whichever car of your choice. So then, you can get it closer to, I guess, somewhere around 500 gold, under 500 gold, if you apply 50% discount, right? Is that right? Yeah, because you will knock off some almost 400 gold, right? Not quite, because that'll be 50%. So, anywho, that's the upgrade cost. And in case you guys are interested, or for those of you guys who have won this car from the special event and have not upgraded since. Now, mine's all fully upgraded because they've offered us upgrade discount on this car sometime last year, and or maybe earlier this year. I cannot remember. But anyway, but if you didn't take advantage of that offer, then but still have the car in the garage from winning it through the special event, the chances are your PR's probably 83.6, 3 upgrades across the board. So obviously not enough to meet the PR requirement here. So in that case, you would need to spend additional 300, or what is that? No, more like 425 gold. Is that right? Let's see. You would need to... No, my bad. It'll be more like 155 gold for engine. That's additional. 115 gold additional for body, and additional 130 gold. Right. So that is 300 or 400 exact, isn't it? Yeah. So you would have to spend 400 extra gold and spend some... I don't know, 584,700 racing dollars to max out engine and body. So there you go. Math is hard, especially if you're trying to do it on the fly in your head. All right. So that's enough about the car cost, upgrade tree and whatnot. I'll have the information, all the numbers in the description box below, as always. So you can always, pause the video and look down there. Anyway, let's run through, check out the series itself, what we've got here. So starting with Tier 1, Elimination, Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix. So you gotta survive for what, 2 minute 40 seconds, right? 20 seconds per elimination, and there are 7 opponents that you gotta beat, right? So 140 seconds, so that is 2 minutes 20 seconds, my bad. Yeah, doesn't matter which venue in a way, because it's a timed event, right? Okay, and then next we got head-to-head at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. Pretty short circuit, single lapper. And we got a cup at Suzuka East, another short circuit, just a quick 3-lapper. And Tier 1, of course, there is no PR requirement. And what do you know? There is instant service and instant R&D on racing dollar upgrades for 24 hours upon completing your first race, right? So something to keep in mind. So if you're trying to maximize your timer. I guess for this one, I get a feeling 3 laps around Suzuka East in this car is going to take less than 2 minutes 20 seconds, I think. Which means start with elimination, I suppose. You know, that's going to be the shortest, the longest event. So upon completing it, you get full 24 hours. Although you got 24 hours. I mean, I think you'll be able to complete this event within 24 hours and then some. Right. All right. Tier 2, we got endurance at Spa, so your target distance may vary depending on your margin of victory from Tier 1. And then followed by Speed Snap at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. And Tier 2 Cup is going to be at Hockenheim Short, so these are all short circuits. Another 3-lapper Cup, PR 72.2 is required, so obviously you're going to need some of those Tier 1 racing dollar upgrades. And Tier 3, we got Autocross at Dubai International Circuit, Hunter at Circuit of the Americas Club Circuit, so that's a pretty short lap. And Tier 3 Cup is going to be at another very short circuit, Monza Junior Course, and it's going to be another 3-lapper. PR 73.8 is required. Now, 73.8 is the max PR on this car you can get with racing dollars only. So what that tells me is that there is no free gold that we can pick up without investing any gold upgrades. And, first 25% completion payout was only 5 gold. And obviously all the upgrades, gold upgrades on this car is worth quite a bit more than 5. So obviously, if you're making your way past Tier 4, I'm assuming you're going to be in it to go all out, all the way, and spend all that 780 gold to complete the event and win the car, because otherwise it's kind of pointless. Anyway, Tier 4, we got a drag race. It's going to be at Porsche Test Track Long On-Road Circuit. So it's a drag race. Followed by Speed Snap at Melbourne. And Speed Snap at Melbourne is one of the easier speed snaps, by the way, along with the dynamic circuit of Porsche Test Track. And what's another fairly easy one? Monza Junior Course. Yeah, so those 3 speed snaps are all pretty short and pretty easy to win. Typically, it's almost harder to finish with a very small margin of victory. Anyway, Tier 4 Cup is going to be at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix, and the PR requirement, it is 75.1. So you cannot get through this without spending any gold. So you're going to need some of that Tier 2 gold upgrades on this car to get through this 2-lap cup at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. All right, that takes us to the Act 2 of the limited time series, starting with the Tier 5. We got Speed Record at Silverstone Grand Prix, so that's a full lap. And Autocross at Mount Panorama, so the hill climb, right? With this car, I definitely under a minute. Under 50 seconds, I think should be doable with this car. I think. Anyway, then we got a cup at Catalunya Grand Prix. Now it's we're going into. We've had the cup at the Red Bull Grand Prix, which is kind of smaller Grand Prix circuit, and Catalunya Grand Prix, I suppose, it's not the biggest, but it's bigger than Red Bull Ring, right? And it's going to be a 2-lap cup. PR 76.3 is required. All right, and Tier 6, we've got another drag race. This one at Monza Road Course. All right, not a big fan of those drag races. Maybe 1 is enough. 2 is 1 too many, if you ask me. And then followed by Speed Snap at Daytona Motorcycle Course. And any of these partial lap event like Autocross, Speed Snap at the Daytona and Indianapolis, And I want to include Nürburgring as well. They tend to be kind of a longer ones, just so you know. There are really short ones like Catalunya. The speed snaps are typically fairly short. Autocrosses are fairly short as well. The Daytona is not one of them. It's one of the longer ones. All right, and then tier 6, we got the Cup at Laguna Seca. And this one's going to be a 3-lapper, and it's a medium-sized circuit, so PR 77.4 is required. Let's continue on. Tier 7, we got Endurance at Melbourne, Elimination at Bugatti Circuit, and the Cup for Tier 7 is going to be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard Road Course. And it's going to be a 3-lapper. PR 78.5 is required, and since the next tier you only need to claim 2 gold trophies to claim the 50% completion reward of that extra 10 gold, that PR here, 78.5, is the 50% completion PR. All right, and moving on, tier 8. As I said, you need 2 gold trophies here for 50% completion. So you can do Hunter at the short on-road circuit of Porsche Test Track, and head-to-head at Monza Road Course, a single lapper. All right. And then continuing on to sort of the Act 3 of this limited time series, Cup at Mount Panorama. 2 laps, PR 79.5 is required. All right, so Bathurst. All right. And tier 9, we got Speed Snap as Circuit of the Americas Club Circuit. That's a pretty small circuit, right? Endurance as Silverstone International. All right. And the Cup is going to be at Nürburgring Grand Prix. 3 laps. All right, it's getting a bit longer. PR 80.5 is required. And tier 10, we got autocross at the 24-hour circuit, which takes place in the final bit, starting right about the Porsche curves, and you gotta, go through the end of the circuit, basically. With this car, how long would it take? 30 seconds, maybe? I think. Anyway, we got Hunter, Suzuka West is where that's gonna be. So that's kind of the medium size at Suzuka. All right, and then Cup for tier 10 is gonna take place at the long on-road circuit of the Leipzig Porsche Test Track, and it is going to be up PR 81.5 for like Grand Prix type circuit. It's one of the smaller ones. All right. And tier 11, we got another drag race. I believe this is the 3rd one, isn't it? This one's taking place at Catalunya Grand Prix. Is it going to be really significantly different? Probably not. I know they are slightly different length, so you may not have to go through maybe one less gear shift. But who are we kidding? Drag race all comes down to the launch. Unless you have totally miss the timing of the following gear shifts, really the largest, biggest determining factor in whether you win or lose a drag race comes down to your launch, So, yeah, that's why I think like the venue where it takes place, I think plays a minimal role. Sort of like elimination. Although elimination used to matter when we didn't used to get the instant service offer on these events back in the day, because then I would try to run through the event as long as possible without servicing the car. And there are certain circuits in elimination that you just get left behind. So if you're running in critical condition, no matter how much you train the bots, because going down straights, bot training doesn't matter. They're going to take off. So namely circuits like Dubai International or not Dubai Internet, or Dubai really, anything that involves the main pit straight, right? So we're talking Grand Prix circuit, national circuit, club circuit, international circuit, yeah, all those. You just cannot keep up. So unless you have it's an event for a car that's fast enough to, you know, reach the first corner within first 20 seconds, first elimination, you get eliminated first. So that used to matter, but in this format, it really doesn't matter because instant service kind of makes that sort of moot point. Anyway, I digress here. I know. All right. So that's yeah. Anyway, we got head-to-head at Circuit of the Americas National Circuit, single lapper. All right, so that's pretty quick. And the Cup for Tier 11 is going to take place at Daytona Motorcycle Course, 3-lapper. And I believe that's the shortest track configuration at Daytona, the motorcycle course. PR 82.5 is required. So now, since Tier 12, you only need a single gold trophy to claim the 75% completion reward of 75,000 racing dollars and 15 gold. PR 82.5 is what you're going to need for that. All right, Tier 12. You got elimination at Mount Panorama, elimination at Monza Junior course. And yeah, so either one will get you the 75% completion reward. And then we continue on to the final act of this limited time series. We got the Cup at the 24-hour Le Mans circuit. And it's going to be 2-lap Cup. So that's going to be a pretty lengthy one. PR 83.5 is required. And yeah, if you won this car in special event, most likely your PR is 83.6 or higher. So obviously you can claim 75% completion, even if your car, you haven't invested any more upgrades since you've won the car. And then you can win 30 gold, right? All right. Continuing on to Tier 13, we got speed record at Silverstone National. So that's a full lap. And then we got Hunter at Laguna Seca. That's also a full lap. And then the Cup for Circuit, the Tier 13 is going to take place at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix Circuit. 4 laps. So that is a decent length. PR 84.6 is required. So, all right. Tier 14, we got Speed Snap at Suzuka Grand Prix, elimination at Nürburgring Grand Prix, and the Tier 14 Cup is going to take place at Dubai Grand Prix, one of the most picturesque circuit. That twilight setting is just gorgeous without terribly affecting the visibility. So I like that. All right, it's going to be another 4-lap Cup. PR 85.7 is required. And that gets us to the final tier, Tier 15. We got Autocross at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. And head-to-head is going to be at the 24-hour circuit. So that's another full lap around Le Mans 24-hour circuit. We'll see how somewhere around 3-minute mark for a lap. And would you be able to get it under 3 minutes? Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, and then final Cup, of course, as we checked out earlier, is going to be at Spa. Another 4-lap Cup with a PR requirement of 86.9. Once again, to review, I think you are going to need to basically max out every category of upgrades on this car except for drivetrain and tires and wheels to meet 86.9. All right, so, and that will cost you some 780 gold and 1.8 million racing dollars and change. All right, so that will do it for this overview of this limited time series. Thanks for watching. If you're running through the event, good luck to you, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.